axles. So I have acquired a small collection of Ford rear ends over the past week because I've got a certain offset tire wheel combo that I want to run on the old blue truck. And I want to maintain the factory 5 on 5.5. So that means all this has come apart in the last week. These trucks typically came with an 8.8. And so narrowing an 8.8 is a little bit more difficult because it has C-clips in it, and a Ford 9-inch is a lot easier to narrow, and they don't have C-clips. They're a lot stronger. So Facebook Marketplace, I bought 5 rear ends for a total of $450. That rear end, totally useless. Don't need it. The housing off of that rear end, it was a truck rear end, but it was like a 270 gear. That truck rear end, the springs and everything, shock mounts line up perfect. This 8.8 is the rear end out of the truck. I thought I was going to use a nicely built Bronco housing, but it was 58 inches wide and it was about 2 inches narrower than what I wanted. And so I figured if I'm going to go through this whole process, instead of using wheel spacers to make a 58 inch rear end 60 wide that I want, I might as well just cut one down. That other rear end housing I acquired as part of the whole project because it had 31 spline axles. And so let me show you the difference because I got them all stacked up right here. This is a 28 spline axle. You see it's nice and thick and tapers down. This is a 31 spline axle. She is a fatty. Now, let me tell y'all something about big end and little ends that I've learned on 9 inches. There's the old little end style, there's the new big end style, and then the Torino big end style. And the difference is the 3/8 retainer clip bolts and the 1/2 inch retainer clip bolts. But you can always tell if a 9 inch is a big bearing style because it has these divots in the end of the axle housing. And another thing that I've discovered is that a truck 9 inch out of an F-150 older model is a direct bolt-in housing for this model. Now, if you've got 87 and up, you may have some speedometer issues because I think those are in the rear end. Got a couple of things going on. I'm going to add Speedworks disc brakes to that rear end housing. I got to cut that rear end housing down 4.5 inches, and I'm going to use Wolf Design slip over bearing ends with new bearings and seals, and then I will measure